Hey, what's up guys? The ranked 136 player in the world is splashed into the meta with a deck that takes complete control of the game as soon as it hits double elixir. Once you can afford Bowler, Executioner, Tornado, there's nothing in the game that can break through you. Bowler knocks back bridge spam like Recruits and Ram Riders, while Executioner completely covers any anti-air defense, while Goblin Cage and Guards do a terrific job of distracting and stopping anything your opponent spams. Clumping up your opponent's cards with Tornado already amplifies the damage that Bowler and Executioner can do. And the addition of Evolved Snowball gives another way to squish together your opponent's cards so you can slaughter them with splash damage. It's time to take our axe value to the max and assert dominance. And big bowler love to everyone that's supporting the channel with credit code SirTag. Thanks to Arcane Rush Battlegrounds for sponsoring today's video. Arcane Rush is a new strategy card game that you guys might fall in love with. Download the game for free using the link in the description of the video or the QR code on the screen right now to support the channel. With over 100 different cards and 8 different races, each race having its own mechanic, there's so many different strategies. Collect the best units you can, upgrade your shop for higher quality cards, and watch as your strategy unfolds and your cards battle it out against your opponents. The game's got great artwork and it's smooth to play. So if you're a fan of TCG games or hero collecting, it's an awesome game to try out. Another layer of strategy is the unique relics that they give every time you level, which gives you a unique way of customizing your board and outplaying opponents. They just added pirates, 70 new cards, and a new dealer too. My favorite to play are orcs, where they have multiple effects like multi-strike so the orcs can attack twice. My favorite card is the Gold Rush Orc. He gives me an extra gold each time he attacks. So by the end of the game, I have more gold than all of my opponents, a fully upgraded shop, and the best units on the board. Arcane Rush is completely free to play, and you can download today using the QR code on the screen or the link in the description of the video. It's time to beat up this guy so badly that he'll need a doctor. Our strategy here is just to wait and see what he's going to do, especially when we see Dagger Duchess. Likely going to be an extremely aggressive strategy. Usually the way the Dagger Duchess works is it does a lot of damage in the single elixir realm. Once you endeavor into double or triple, it doesn't have enough ammunition to damage down your units. So I love playing against Dagger Duchess early on. If I can just survive, then it makes me really happy because I know that the later the game gets, the better it gets for me. And that's generally universal with this deck. It gets a lot better since you have a lot of splash damage. So with Bowler and then Executioner, if the game is a little bit longer, your opponent will cycle more cards on the map, and then your splash damage can hit more units and give you more value. But particularly in a situation like this, where the opponent can't keep up with us when we spam graveyards with Executioners and Bowlers and Phoenixes, all these have really high health points. You're just going to take the L then. Oh, wait, is there a way? No! Bully, you were so close. If the Bowler hit that, we would have probably been in a very good spot. So it is what it is. We can still get guards down to surprise the bush goblins. And then I think I'm in a graveyard with this because he doesn't have Dark Goblin, he doesn't have Goblin Gang in cycle. Those are the two best answers to our graveyard. So you go Valkyrie, it's still a decent answer, but it's not your best choice. Also, we can surprise you with the Snowball, and I would really advise against doing what we did. I calculated a position where I knew that I could get value, but 99% of the time, it's not going to be worth it. Also, he might try to protect this princess, and we could activate King Tower with the Tornado here. Wait, that worked out exactly as I had hoped. Because if we activate King Tower with the Tornado, it's a 3-for-3 trade against the Goblin Barrel. It gives us utility for the rest of the match on defense. And we crushed a Valkyrie and Princess, which is a 7 elixir investment from our opponent. And we get a cannon out as well. So that's 10 elixir total on that Bowler. Put some respect on that Bowler's name. Okay, unfortunately, we are going to take some damage here against the Bush Goblins, but it is what it is, and it's not that bad. Again, I want to get to evolve snowballs as often as possible. You guys have heard me talk about this way too much. Whenever I play Clash Royale, I'm trying to get to the evolutions. Also, is there a chance I hit the bush? Oh, bush gets bopped. Bush gets stopped. That's what I'm talking about, baby. All right, so there's a way that we can damage down the cannon. I would be in an even better spot. We're going to go guards off to the side since that counters the two goblins that we're most scared of. And is there a way the Bowler hits the tower? Not quite, but really freaking close. All right, so we're going to go in for an Executioner here. I do want to cycle a Bowler on the other side so we're able to kill everything. Actually, yeah, let's just go Goblin Cage, actually. That's kind of funny. I've never done this before, but we're going to use Goblin Cage with Tornado. It was definitely one of the dumbest plays I've ever done in my life. I retract that play. I don't want you guys to witness what I just did. I think that was horrendous, but it was funny. Okay? It was for the memes. All right, we're going to go for a Tornado here, try to damage down the rest of his stuff. Obviously, in a still stellar spot, Definitely need to go for a guards here to counteract the rest of the goblins that are going to be in the back. And I can go for more graveyards. Generally, the way that this deck works is you're able to go for graveyards and apply pressure with snowballs on towers and just win the game with that if you can't get units crossing the bridge in specific matchups against bait, because it might cost too much elixir to go in for supporting cards as well. But I think that we're going to be just fine with the Dark Goblin out of cycle. Snowballing on a Valkyrie or a Goblin Gang will make me happy. All right, yeah, we hit the Goblin Gang as expected. We could go for Tornado and then maybe go and kill the Valkyrie that way. Dude, how are we not getting damage through this? This is insane. I totally thought this would be a lot easier than that, but hey, it is what it is. All right, we're going to get guards down on the other side. I should be good to go here. I do think that he's going to get some damage with the Bush Goblins, but it's not going to be that bad because one of the guards should go backward, right? Yeah, it does. All right, we're going to get the graveyard to go through, and then we have 500 HP on our towers. So actually, this is way scarier than I thought. This is surprisingly scarier than I thought. I guess Dark Goblin just so goated on defense that the game is starting to becoming a little bit more dicey than I would want. We're going to go for guards and make a prediction on the Goblin Barrel. We're also... Oh! How the heck did that hit the tower? Bowler is broken, and it broke down the tower too. Doctor, you need a doctor because that tower needs a fixin'. My eyes couldn't catch what happened, but luckily my editors got you covered. We're going to go for guards and make a prediction on the Goblin Barrel. We're also... Oh! Yo, Mojo Charmer. Well, I feel like if you got any Mojo right now, we have to see that type of aura. Okay, wow, you got Giant Skeleton. You really are that man. You are that person with a plan. Cycling a big bomber boy in the back like that is funny, because you just don't see a Giant Skeleton too often in this meta, especially since P.E.K.K.A. is so freaking prevalent. And P.E.K.K.A. crushes the Giant Skeleton, gives you counter push, and then the Giant Skeleton's sitting there with its bomb, and it's like doing splash damage to the P.E.K.K.A., and the P.E.K.K.A.'s like, ah, nice little tickle. It doesn't do much to me, man. It's not very effective. It's like going and dropping in a Thunderbolt with your Pikachu directly into a ground Pokemon. You're going to get grounded and pounded and have the stark realization that you might have messed up. Also, wait, you going to get any damage? Wait, we're chilling so hard right now. I don't even know if that dies. Okay, it does, unfortunately. If I snowball, does that die or is that going to hit? Oh! He wasn't ready! I wasn't ready. I was holding my breath. I thought I was dead. I was like... I'm going to have to hold my tower together because it's going to be in pieces. But he's got no mojo. He didn't charm his Sparky enough. And maybe he's charming, maybe. Maybe he's like trying to like sneak up to me. He's like, oh, Jake, I'm going to cajole you to throw the game. I'm going to be so nice to you. I'm going to be so nice and sweet. I'm going to seduce you to play in the worst possible gameplay I've ever seen. I don't know. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Trying to butter me up real bad. I don't know. I think that we're still in a decent spot here with this Phoenix, and I don't want to spend more elixir than what I got on the map. Generally, going same side as the opponent is the way that this deck works, and you'll see me do it right now. If our opponent doesn't have Goblin Gang or Bats in cycle, it's a perfect opportunity. It's a perfect storm for us to storm his towers. So, usually, when you got a Sparky, you're okay. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. But, I'm going to spark some fire under your butt, bro. I'm going to go for a graveyard real quick. And now, without the Goblin Gang and Bats, I wonder what you're going to do to defend this. Sparky wasted shot, and then we can go for a snowball, maybe make a prediction or something if we're lucky. If not, we're just going to slow down the tower a little bit, get some extra value here, go for a Goblin Cage against the Goblin Giant, and then maybe go for a Phoenix and NATO on the Sparky, or we can just go, yeah, it's Phoenix NATO because we kill the bats that way. It's way better. Also, damaging down the Sparky like that is hilarious, because I'm not spending that much elixir. I'm just going to go for guards, complete cleanup. And we might even keep the Phoenix Egg alive if the guards are able to block just long enough. Yo, the Phoenix is resurrecting. I think this guy's chances are falling. I think he's declining and we're flying high in the sky. It's resembling something, guys. It means something. Okay, so we're going to be real mean to him. We're going to go and cycle another bowler in the back on the same side. This is the type of matchup that I love playing the most, just because, like, the way I see it is if you play against the beatdown deck and you have the ability... Oh, he's even got it, like, level 16. So this guy is not super pay to win. He's just using mirror. I just had to get my eyes checked out again there. This guy's insane. That's wild. Anyway, I could go in for a graveyard. Definitely want to go in for a tornado here as well, and then go in for an evolved snowball just to like knock everything back for the memes. If the bowler locks onto the tower now, he just loses. So kind of the game plan here, guys. We're going to go and cycle guards on the Sparky. I don't even care if I get finessed by the Sparky, like killing the guards. Doesn't matter. Oh, the bowler's on the tower, right? Yeah, the stupid thing's on the tower. We're tornadoing and bowling and snowballing and just making sure all the stuff goes further back so the bowler can lock to the tower. So that's it. Like using the evolved snowball paired with tornado, you have massive mobility. you can pull your opponent's units closer to the tower so that you can splash through those units with a bowler or executioner as a pseudo win condition. That's how we won that game. The bowler locking onto the tower, hitting the giant skeleton, and doing the devastating amount of damage enabled us just to spell him out with a measly spell at the end. That was one of the easiest and most fun matches I've had in a while. Let's bowl on to the next one and strike down some more towers. This guy's got every 20 win and the goldenite in the banner. So let's break his golden record out here, guys. If he's a talented individual, we have to play our best and focus on counter pushing after crushing his offense. That's how this deck works. If you play aggressive into your opponent, you're generally going to go and find yourself stumbling your graveyard skeletons into a proxy of goblins or whatever your opponent decides to drop on defense that will be cost effective against graveyard. If you don't know what their deck is, you really have to be playing safe. Otherwise, you're going to be incredibly sorry. So I'm going to use the executioner here paired with the guards, hopefully destroy the queen. And then I can go in for a tornado to mostly pull the majority of these royal hogs, right? Not really. We had to go for a snowball to push the other one there. And then one still stayed on the tower like a leech. But it's okay. I'm still vibing. I'm having a good time with this game because I can cycle bowlers in the back all day. The one bad thing is Archer Queen does beat bowler in a 1v1 because of the invisibility 1 elixir tactic. They are going to spend slightly more elixir there. And wow, this guy has the audacity to go for an earthquake on our tower. Whenever someone does that, I actually do want to go opposite lane. Usually, I never do this, but with the earthquake out of cycle, I can't go into the queen and feel good about myself, and I can fly high in the sky with the Phoenix, and he's not going to be able to block that. So, Phoenix locking and loading up a lot of damage on the cannon, killing the cannon, and then blasting the recruit a little bit further back, and we hit the tower with our bowler because he wasn't able to afford as much elixir for distractions as he typically would. So that isolation play of making sure he didn't have enough elixirs to support the cards that he wanted worked out wonderfully. I'm going to go Executioner, and I'm also going to go in for a Snowball. Definitely our best tactic there, I think, because we're going to get counter push with the Executioner, and that's worth a lot. It's worth its weight in gold, forcing out more elixir from our opponent, especially if he has to go in for another Archer Queen to counteract our Bowler, and then we can do the exact same transaction. Generally, with this deck, the optimal strategy is to not go opposite lane of the opponent, always getting counter push, but if they will win the 1v1 versus you, you kind of have to do that. So, again, the Earthquake is just weird. I just haven't seen many people do that. So I'm going to go and abuse the fact that I can win against this queen, eventually using an executioner and then go in for guards if we want. But yeah, he only has one Archer Queen. It's not like you can cycle a ton of them. So we're going to get a lot of value, and then we can go in for guards right after. So he's subsequently going to go and keep his queen alive as long as he can, cycling earthquakes on our tower to get value. But I can guarantee one thing. This evolved snowball is going to be absolute nightmare for our man. So we're going to go in for a graveyard with a Phoenix and an evolved snowball here. And there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be a little bit upset because the queen should get disappearing for a sec. And then it's not going to necessarily get the maximum ability value either. So I don't know. It's just fun to minimize the amount of ability value that one could get on the map. The one thing I do dislike about playing against good players with Earthquake Cycle is they can cycle back to multiple Earthquakes, so then they can counter the graveyard that way. But it's still a very winnable game. I'm telling you guys right now, going for Goblin Cage on defense super low like that works wonderfully. Because now we're going to get 4 elixir counter pushing as well. We have Tornado against an Archer Queen. If he drops it in the middle, we're going to NATO to the other side. If he drops it here, we're going to go and pull it directly into the tower. So we'll see what he decides to do, but either way, I don't think this is bad. If the Archer Queen gets hit, we also hit the tower too with the Executioner shot. That axe action was insane. So I need to go in for our Bowler here. I don't think he's going to get that much damage with the queen, even if he decides to pop the ability. What the heck is the Goblin Cage Brawler doing? Okay. All right. Say less, game. I guess we're going on the right side right now. The switch up is unreal sometimes. So yeah, that's a lot of value. We can also Tornado on top of the Evolved Skeletons and damage down the cannon a little bit quicker. Now no Evo Skeletons, so our Skeletons are evil. And then I think I should be able to go in for a Snowball here, knock everything back, go Goblin Cage in the middle just to meme on him a little bit, and then plant down a Graveyard for a win. So as you can see, this exemplifies how the deck is played. It's not a short-term solution when you're trying to win games. It's a long con. You get your opponent in a position where they can't possibly win and they're forced to play it out, and you just terrorize them. You know that this game is inevitably going to be mine and we win with the giant snowball. You just have to sit there and watch as you shake up our towers and get shook mentally. Because that earthquake cycling accomplished nothing but tickling my towers. Yo, this guy finished 741 in the world looking at the banner, so he is one of the best players in the game. And he just got that in 2v2, so respect to him. You know what? We're going to give him some love and drop a good luck because I see a good player and I know that I got focus. So we're going to give him the most respect. I'm going to drop our Phoenix probably on the Skeleton Dragon so we can preserve our precious Goblin Brawler from the Goblin Cage. And I do think that if we want to play this optimally, the best way to play is just to wait and see what his deck is. Oh, okay. All right, let's go. So if you got the King Tower activation there, I think I might have lost the match. I mean, not entirely. This is not a graveyard deck that instantly loses the King Tower activations because you have Bowler and you also have Executioner with NATO, so that's another way to win. You can just stack up big pushes and then pummel your opponent. One thing to keep in mind is when you have a Goblin Cage counter pushing, you always want to support it with other cards. Otherwise, you're going to guarantee take an L. So I'm going to use a Bowler plus a Graveyard here just to see if we can get him to cycle more stuff into our Executioner. I'm about to be a pretty devious dude. Anyone that cycles stuff into an Executioner is not happy. This thing executes and got some pretty nice axe action out here, guys. The axe action is unrivaled. And he's on the chopping block today. He's going to get voted off the island. Unfortunately, our Executioner's time has come and gone as well, and he's cut from the match. But I'm going to cut it back up soon. He's out here. Trust. Oh, that's not good. That's really bad. I was so confident. I was like, trust. And then he did that to me. He's like, haha, Jake, I trust that I'll win. That's terrible for me. Elixir Collector is one of those cards that you look at and you're like, well, I don't know if I can kill that because I don't have a spell. So that's bad. If you drop it in the back, then that's a vibe, but obviously that's not what you're doing here. I think that I have to rely on the immense elixir advantage that I get from just using Executioners, Tornadoes, that type of stuff. So I'm going to snowball on the Elixir Collector in the tower. It's not necessarily going to be beneficial for me, but that's what we have to work with. I do have the Evolved Goblin Cage too, so as long as he doesn't do dual lane pressure, it should be pretty easy for us to defend. Unfortunately, it seems like this guy understands how to play the game, so that's not good for me at all that he's doing dual lane pressure. He's very, very, very smart, comparatively to the average bear that plays these type of decks. Most of these people that play this type of deck are not very smart. They're pretty dumb, usually. Okay, so I'm going to maybe defend this with just guards and then going in for an Executioner afterward. Seems like he's overcommitting quite a bit. If I have enough on reserve and I'm cycling an Executioner in the back and then he's cycling stuff into us, that is really good. Whew, okay, he's trying to keep momentum going in for the graveyard right now. We'll end our momentum because we're going to have to spend a bunch of elixir for this. Oof, this is well played. Yeah, that Electro Dragon should kill all of our stuff, which really sucks. But it is what it is. And also go in for a Goblin Cage here, and then Phoenix directly on this, and then maybe go in for a Tornado afterward on the Golem. So if we can pull the Golem to the King Tower, I think that's a bit of a W. Actually, I don't know if it's worth it. I'm going to try. I think it will work, and it does. Why did I doubt myself? All right, we're going to go for a Bowler up top because I wonder if we want to be able to get, minimize his Tornado value, because if we separate our stuff, it's going to be way harder for him to pull everything together. Also, I need to win this game, guys. I got to beat good players. It's just in my DNA. It feels good to beat people really good at the game. So I'm going to try to use maybe a Graveyard right now. Is that worth it? It has to be. Because if we can shred this Golem, the Graveyard Skeletons are going to give us enough damage to the point that we just need one or two more. He's probably in a Tornado here. We have Evolved Snowball, and we have Tornado. Wait, we have double ways of stopping him. This is going to be silly, guys. It's going to be straight up silly. Wait, watch this. Giant snowball time, baby. Dashing through the snow. One horse open sleigh. Oh my gosh, guys. Over the hills we go. And it's not even that bumpy today. All right, we're bumping it too. Our Bowler spam and then using a snowball afterward. And I think with the Executioner snowball, we clean it all up without really that much impact. Especially if we can get a Phoenix on this Electro Dragon. This is where he rises and falls, guys. Our Phoenix is going to reign supreme. He has to defend this, and he can't. He just uses Barbarrel, so I think he's dead. It's going to be very difficult for him to stop this because we have more stuff coming at him. We have Tornado, and we got Snowball. So we're going to pull everything backward, get the splash damage with the Bowler and the Executioner, and guarantee the win. Very fun match against one of the better players in Clash Royale, and even against Elixir Collector decks when you don't have a way of damaging it and they get huge Elixir Collector stonks. They have much more Elixir than you can still win because the defensive sequences that you're allowed to do with this deck are so incredibly cost effective with Tornado, Bowler, and Executioner. Hold down the like button if you enjoyed today's video, subscribe for more daily content, and have an amazing rest of your day.